a little biking accident about a month ago, and decided to get into a fight with the curb, and lost the battle and broke both of the bones in her leg.
Uh-oh.
So you went on vacation by yourself.
So after canceling all the reservations we had for our West Coast trip, I was in the office at my supervisor to cancel my leave request for that time, and I was like, hold on a minute, just take one of those weeks off. And it came into my head that I need to make a beer trip.
So you went drinking for 2 weeks.
It was 6.5 days. Come on now.
Did you drink every day?
Hitting up breweries.
Not one day I didn't. Another day I only got in maybe 5 drinks.
This motherfucker went on a week-long bender.
I was 50 miles short of a 3,000-mile trip.
Where did you go exactly?
After leaving our hometown here, I went to Minneapolis for a couple days.
Did you like the cities? I like the cities.
Love the cities. Did some shopping, hit some breweries that I hadn't been to before. You have to definitely hit up Dangerous Man Brewing. It's a little tough to find. It's in a neighborhood.
In the cities.
It's in a literally in a little neighborhood. There's a school like 75 yards away from this brewery.
Nice.
I pull up and
grandfather-laws are the best.
There's kids leaving school as I'm trying to walk into this brewery.
As you're getting to your car and like start it up and like fuck these kids.
And no, it was they have something in there to die for. It's called a peanut butter porter.
Well, you had to pretty much like peanut butter for that one, right?
Oh.
You know, in this house, only the dogs like peanut butter, and you can understand why. I mean, it's just kind of.
I think
get a little bored.
that enjoys beer that drank peanut butter porter from Dangerous Man would just love that beer.
Peanut butter port from Dangerous
My
Man.
goodness.
Where do you know where the brewery? I mean, the brewery's in Minneapolis. That they have a main brewery, or is that just
it's all in one. Excuse me, and I didn't stay there very long. I had to go hit up other places.
Other breweries.
Yes.
Hell's Kitchen.
And
Yeah, Ben, you're gonna have to speak up. Felicia's having a hard time hearing you.
I hadn't eaten anything that day yet, so I hit Townhouse Brewing, which was literally right next door to my hotel in downtown Minneapolis, and that was a fun, nice little place. They had good beer, really good food, but right across the street is a bar that if anyone is a craft beer drinker knows this bar. It's called the Republic. And they literally have about 100 taps of just craft brews.
Nice.
Oh, it was a little bit of heaven walking into, and it was tough leaving there for the night. Luckily, my hotel was about 75 paces across the street, so I got detoured back over to Townhouse Brewing because I sat on the patio and had a cigarette and had another beer and. Finally stumbled up into my room. Next day was a little trip to Northern Brewing.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of going to their home office.
Oh, yeah. Whoops.
And
Wait, there's no beer here.
And there was no beer there. There was nothing there except the home office.
Shit?
And I was kindly redirected to one of the other places where you could buy all your beer brewing
Essentials?
Essentials.
Yeah.
And after walking out of there, $250 lighter.
Well, you got a beer making kit.
I do have a beer making kit. I have 2 backup kits complete to basically keep me going until probably October, November time.
2020? Yeah.
And then we moved on. I drove on down to Chicago. And
Chicago.
Chi-Town.
Euro.
Love Chi-Town.
Somebody get this
I
bitch
had
a
to hit
Snickers.
the obvious, Goose Island.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Got to do the tour there.
Yeah.
Found out a lot of history that Goose Island is major innovator of microbrewing.
Mm-hmm.
They were the first
Yep.
beer company to use whiskey barrels to barrel age beers.
Okay.
Did you know that?
Did not know Gusan was the first. No.
They were the first. I was.
Innovators.
They are.
Fucking A.
And speaking of innovations, while I was on the tour, they have a little area for employees only and their guests that they get to make their own beer there. They get to experiment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
They come out with an experimental beer every
And,
once in a
experimenting.
while, while I was on my tour,
Waka waka waka.
one of the employees had a couple of friends with him, and they were standing there like just literally feet away from us, and I kept on giving the employee that was the host the stink eye to make him feel a little guilty about not sharing this beer with everyone else. And as our tour was moving on to a different part of the brewery,
Yep.
he kind of goes, hey, you want to try something? I was like, hell yeah! And I hooked up. I was talking with a couple people before we started the tour, and they lagged behind with me, and so the three of us got to sample some experimental stuff.
Nice.
And it was very yummy. We'll just call it Experimental 140.
You got
Ever
to have
hear
beer?
that
You didn't
coming
bring
out
it
of
back?
It's experimental. All I got was a little sample. I had to drink it on the spot.
Yeah.
Oh,
Adam,
good
that's the way
shit.
those things
Good
go.
Shit, good shit.
Oh, it was lovely.
Yeah.
If it's anything like the Daisy Cutter that you guys truly enjoyed earlier tonight that I brought back.
Yeah.
I didn't taste it. I don't know what's
From
going on.
Half Acre in
Daisy Cutter
Chicago.
is good.
Daisy Cutter is a very nice, light, tasty beer.
Nice.
And I tried to get over to Lagunitas before I went to Goose Island.
Wait, where was this at?
This is Chicago.
This is in Chicago.
This is all
Oh, okay,
Chicago
Chicago. Yeah.
So
well,
now,
Goose Island.
later on that evening, I'm back at my hotel, and I'm like, I go to B-Dubs for some dinner.
And to jerk off.
Of course.
You went to the one.
Did
You
you
went.
see the bartender there?
Yeah.
This is men's night, by the way. Did I mention
the
I'm the only
bartender lady
female
there?
here right now
Yeah,
besides
we're Spanx.
kind of Adam?
I purposefully did not
Definitely
take a
Adam.
picture of her
He's a recent bottom.
because of you,
Oh, wait.
Liz.
It's
Okay?
about to get real bad.
Oh,
What?
shit's about to get
You want to go?
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Let's box. Let's
No,
box.
I wasn't giving the boxing. I was gonna fish you up your butt. Let me help you out. All right. Sorry. Inappropriate.
God.
As I was trying to tell you, I didn't take a picture of the bartender lady at B-Dubs because I knew that you would be making fun of me. And apparently I don't even need a picture.
She was a big
And she's
bottom
already
girl,
making fun
and
of
he
me.
was like, I'm drunk, but it's
Big
okay.
booty
I
bitches.
still
But,
Did you hit that?
She told me to. She told me to try a couple of
what?
breweries in town.
Thank you.
One of them.
Pam was like,
couple of
okay,
young
I'm
ones
down.
That
Whatever.
were there on the south side of Chicago. 350 Brewing, awesome beers, made it there. The other one was Hailstorm, and I didn't actually make it to the brewery, but I did try it at a bar that was like 100 yards away from my hotel, so I didn't have to go driving.
There you
So
go.
it was a smart stop for me, and got to enjoy the Hailstorm. So the next time I go to Chicago, I will be hitting up Hailstorm. And
Sounds like an X-Men character.
every time I go to someplace new, I start chatting up with people, and craft beer drinkers are a very inclusive crowd. And if you let people know that you're enjoying this beer or that beer, they're more than happy to tell you of another place to go check out. If you like this beer, you got to go check out this place,
Yeah.
that place. And I've got another 3-4 breweries lined up to go check out in Chicago the next time I get
I'm
down
not
there.
speaking to you.
And so spent a couple days in Chicago.
Yeah.
Then I moved on up to Grand Rapids, Michigan,
Yeah.
and I had to hit Founders. Founders is one of the oldest craft breweries in the country. And that place is huge. The place is
Whoa!
awesome.
Shit's getting
Food
real.
Wow.
is delicious.
Dog
The
out.
beers were awesome. 3 tap rooms and a beer garden. The place is massive.
Okay, Ben. Keep going.
So, while I was sitting there, I was told that you need to go check out a couple more places downtown.
So you drank your entire time.
Pretty much. It was a beer trip.
Yeah.
Don't be hating.
How's your liver feeling right now? Failing and feeling.
Like I said, the last couple days I didn't drink much. I was doing a lot of driving.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, after a couple more places in Grand Rapids, I stopped in at Bell's the next day in Kalamazoo, and
You stopped in Bell's?
Bells,
That's pretty
Bell's
awesome.
Brewing.
right?
And then I
Are you
decided that I was
taking
going to go to Battle
You are
Creek,
taking
Michigan,
selfies.
but I found out that Kellogg's, the cereal place, does not do tours anymore. So I was depressed and decided to drive on down to Ohio, and I was going to pick up some beer there. That's smaller breweries that don't distribute that well, and before I did that, that's when I stopped. I'd researched British food stores for Minneapolis and Chicago, and I didn't find too much in either of those two cities. But I found one that was in Ohio. So I decided I had to stop in there. And started
Adam's
chatting
dying.
with a
You're going to have
lovely-
to give Adam a chance. Adam's going to have to talk soon.
Started chatting with a lovely gentleman from England.
Did you hump him?
Come on now.
Don't ask rhetorical questions.
Farley.
Don't ask questions you already know the answers to, right, Liz? Right.
It was a big circle jerk. Are you happy now? Okay.
I am happy now.
Who's got
And,
later?
Your mom.
After spending an hour and a half chatting with this lovely bloke from England,
Lovely bloke.
Yeah, lovely. Just lovely.
Who's the righteous chap?
and dropping a couple $100 on some British food that I grew up on. My mother, God rest her soul, she's up in heaven now.
Oh, God.
She was English. And I now have about a 2-year supply of Marmite. For anyone that is of British descent and knows what I'm talking about, you're going to laugh at me with a 2-year supply of Marmite. But I also got some Cadbury Flakes, and anybody else that
2 years
knows
supply, that's like one little jar, right?
for a lot of people, yes. For a lot of people, a little jar is a 2-year supply. Not for me. But got some Cadbury Flakes and some custard and some HP sauce and some Twiglets and what else did I get? Stuff that I grew up on. And by that point, he's like, "Well, where are you headed to now?" And I was like, "Well, I got to make a couple more stops before I get back to Chicago." And he's like, "Well, if you better get going because it's going to be 9:30 by the time you get there now." And I'm like,
You don't have
"What?"
a choice.
So yeah, it was.
I'm glad you had a good trip, Ben.
Okay. So then you came here.
You
and
literally
brought
told us about every fucking second you did drinking.
Yeah.
And then you just slapped yourself.
And then he bought us. And then
That's why you're losing hair there.
And then he brought us some beers, which was very nice.
You did bring beers. I haven't
Yeah.
drank any of them.
Yeah.
I wanted a
So
$2,000
Shirley's.
bottle of wine, but you failed me. Billy, what have you been up to? We haven't seen you for a long time, Billy.
Well, I see myself every day.
You have to speak really loud, Billy, right into my
It's
tits.
very
Fuck, I get
Right
scared
to
by
tits.
the morning.
Speak into my titties.
They'll scare me.
I get scared when I look in the mirror too.
You're not. He's not a titty. Here you
I
go.
was gone for 6 weeks, went home, went back to Texas,
Look at.
saw my family.
What
had a
part of
great
Texas are you
visit.
from?
What part?
Mhm.
Southeast,
Look, hold on. Nope.
Are people
Houston, Beaumont.
fucking batshit crazy down there?
pretty
So
much.
the flooding going on.
Oh, the
around.
flooding's crazy. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, Austin, San Antonio, all the way up to Beaumont, up into Woodville, Jasper, that whole entire area. They're getting it's crazy. It's like really crazy. People are volunteering.
It's still flooding.
It's still flooding, still raining,
Yeah.
still flooding. Yeah, people are bringing like cattle trailers, like 30, 40-foot cattle trailers. Volunteering will help you load up your livestock.
Oh no, we were
It's
here.
just
We were here in this location for the 2011
Flood.
flood.
And that was
We were
Which
here.
lasted
Yeah.
30 days. Yeah,
And then
so-
when I remember, like leaving town or coming, no, I was coming into town, and all I saw was directed traffic of Oh shit.